Exterior Home Solutions 2-minute drill on this Tuesday. Got to hear from defensive coordinator Tim Banks. And defensive line got a lot of people back, which means a lot of experience and a lot of high hopes for this group.
Yeah, I mean, Tim Banks flat out saying today, I think our defensive line should be the best defensive line in the country. When you look at the experience that comes back, and he talks about what a great group of guys that they are. But you got a veteran coach in Rodney Garner who's pushing guys to get better. Banks was asked about how much better James Pierce can be, and he said, James is still scratching the surface on all he can do. They want to move him around, do some different things with him, but certainly they feel like they've got a great foundation to build their defense on with that defensive front.
Then you have the secondary, which has a lot of new pieces in it. And so I think part of the spring is trying to kind of place the pieces and figure out where they go.
Yeah, and I think that's going to experiment all spring. I don't think they're going to come out of spring and go, okay, here's our 5, or we know exactly where this guy is going to be. Particularly with those young players, they're still looking around at some things. But one thing Tim Banks did note was they're more athletic. He likes their athleticism back there. I think they're really happy with Jacoby Thomas, the transfer from MTSU. I think he's come in and done a really nice job for them early on, been a real calming influence, good communicator in the back end. Ricky Gibson earned some praise from Coach Banks and from some others that we've spoken to just about how he's attacked this all season and how he's gone about his business as a corner. So a lot of different pieces back there. I thought it was interesting. He said they're moving Jordan Thomas around to some different spots, and Boo Carter's working at some different spots. So there's always that fine line of when do you get somebody settled into their position versus bouncing them around. But right now it sounds like those young guys are bouncing around quite a bit.
Jermon McCoy, another one that catches the eye, that the staff really likes. We got a chance to catch up with Boo Carter today. He's working at kick returner and punt returner. But as you pointed out, carries himself a little differently. And honestly, he just feels like he's a guy. Sometimes you feel like, okay, we'll see. He's a freshman making plays in spring. But this one feels a little different.
Well, he's also a guy that we've all seen at the high school level, regardless of the competition, perform well. So there's a history of this guy rising to the moment, right, and showing up in the moment. He did that very early on in bowl practice, right? He made a couple plays in the moment. So there's an it factor that a lot of people feel like he has. Now, he's got a lot to learn, but some guys just kind of carry themselves with that it factor, and I think Boo Carter's at the head of that list with these young guys.
Yeah. Speaking of rising to the moment, nobody rises to the moment like this guy right here. During practice today, Coach Eckler came up and gave him a little forearm shiver just for fun.
He body checked me into the pylon.
No.
I thought I was going to the medical tent for a while.
Eckler hit the ground, stood up, said, "Never again, Hubs, never again." My bad, sir. He was like the guy that played Sam Meekleaver in the Brady Bunch in the Andy Griffith episode, where he goes against Barney, who's disguised as the Taekwondo guy.
Yeah, it didn't go that well. I bounced around like a pinball. It's pretty ugly.
He's Brent Hubs. I'm Austin Price.